Oh gosh. Oh, you don't have the transition? I can move it further away.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, your mic went out. It
Hello.
sounds like
Can you
that
hear me
Bluetooth
now,
thing
guys? Can you hear
happened.
me now? So strange. You guys should probably be able to hear us. If you guys are in the chat, please give us a thumbs up if you can hear me. If you can hear Badake, Badake is not as normal setup. He is there.
I'm
The house is being
technically still
sold.
home.
Yeah,
Yeah, house is being sold, so we have some people coming in and doing some stuff.
yeah.
So I'm in my mobile little setup with my computer and AirPods.
And your head looks
So
huge.
yeah, I try to keep it as far as possible,
I mean, I don't mind, but it's just funny that your
so
head
it's
looks that
not
big.
I don't know, it's weird.
Let us know if you guys can hear us. Can we get some thumbs up in the chat? Does everything sound okay? Badaki sound okay? Do I sound okay? Is the background music going? We're going to have a good stream for you guys today. Do us a favor, drop a like. We started doing this last week, and we found that it was, honestly, it's something that we want to do more next year. This year, we only go live one time to answer your start-sit questions, and I think we want to do this much more often going into next year. I mean, I would probably say like 2 to 3 times a week at least instead of just the one time, because we found that these are the streams that, a lot of people turn up to on the channel and get interaction to. Thank you for the sub, Monkey Man. But
Appreciate
shout out
you.
to everybody over here. I see you guys on Twitch as well. Just quickly on Twitch, Mr. Vengeance says, should I go with Carr versus Indianapolis or Cousins versus the Bills? I'm going Carr. I don't want to play that Bills defense, but what do you think? Are you going Cousins or Carr there?
Yeah, I think I might still go. I think I still might go Cousins.
Cousins? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if Zach Wilson can do what he did,
Sure.
even though
Not a bad
it
point.
wasn't much, like maybe Kirk Cousins obviously significantly better. You
Yeah.
trust him a little bit more. So give me Kirk Cousins there.
That's a really tough one. I don't have a
Yeah.
strong opinion either way, but I can see where you're coming from. Shout out to everyone over on Twitch, over here on YouTube. We see Vengeance, we see Alonzo Bombs over on Twitch. Over here on YouTube, just want to say again, thank you guys for rocking up. Do us a favor, drop a like. You guys know the deal. We're going to go through these questions in order, and don't put any questions in the chat like, what do I do with my team? Like, we can't sit here on this stream and break down. There's going to be a lot of questions. We can't sit here on the stream and break down your team. We do that for people over on Patreon. But here on this stream, give us a question that you want us to answer. We're going to go through them in order. And, of course, Super Chats always get answered straight away. What's up, Christian? Welcome to the stream.
What's up, brother?
Billy says, my Hawks are coming for the Bucks. Let's see. What's up, Jay Wiz? Christian says, should I try and trade Zach Ertz away before Marquise Brown comes back, or should I hold him? Yeah, I think the question would always be, what value can you get in return? But I'm still happy to ride Zach Ertz after Hollywood Brown comes back. I think that more impacts your Rondell Moore rather than your Zach Ertz. You feel the same?
Yeah, agreed. And what's the tight end that you would get if you do that? I feel like if you're going to tear it down and not get a better wide receiver or a running back in return, then I'm not sure if it's worth it. In my opinion.
Yeah, sorry. I got this Lark bottle, which is supposed to purify your water as you push it, but I got this red ring, and apparently that means something's wrong. So.
Like something's wrong with like the technology type, or like something's wrong with the water.
Yeah, apparently. Dalton and Ridley says, "Did I win this trade? I made it before the 55-point game. I traded Aaron Jones for Joe Mixon. I mean, if you get Joe Mixon 100%, Aaron Jones dealing with the injury." Yeah. Christian says, when Swift plays fully healthy, do you think he'll be top 10? I brought DeAndre Swift as a buy low candidate this week, so I would highly encourage you to watch that video. I can find it here and put it in the chat for you, but if you want to hear a full breakdown as to why I think you should trade for DeAndre Swift right now heading into the playoffs, then I would suggest to watch this video that I'm going to paste in the chat. But otherwise, my answer is just yes, I do think he's going to return to his form eventually.
Yeah, agreed.
What's up, Andrea? Ethan says, pick 4, full PPR, A.J. Dillon, Jamal Williams, Deonta Foreman, Kareem Hunt, Tony Pollard, Josh. I mean,
oh my gosh.
Pick 4.
Gosh.
Pick 4. Deonta Foreman for sure against Atlanta. I think that's a great matchup for him. I'll probably go Jamal Williams as well because Jamal Williams seems like his workload is safe regardless at this point. He plays Chicago, so definitely Jamal Williams and Deonta Foreman for me. I'm not going to start A.J. Dillon unless Aaron Jones is out. Palmer, what's Palmer's matchup this week?
Palmer is playing the 49ers.
Palmer plays the Niners. I think regardless, he's going to get a huge target share. We told a lot of people to start him last week. What did he end up with last week? What was the stat line? Let me find out for you guys because I think he's going to continue to be a crucial part of this team while they're waiting for Keenan and Mike Williams to be back. He had 8 catches on 10 targets for 106 yards. I mean, if he has a touchdown, he's over the 24 point mark.
Exactly.
So,
good mark, yeah.
It was a great start last week. Palmer is going to continue to be a great start as he's Herbert's number 1 there. So that's the 3 I'm set on. Right now I'm kind of between Pickens, Pollard, and Sutton. And I don't know the answer between those.
I think my answer would, like, by 4 from this list is Jamal, Foreman, Palmer, and Cortland. Off the top of my head, I do believe George Pickens could be swapped potentially for Jamal. But at the same time, they're playing the Bears, so that game can go either way. I feel like the floor is safer with Jamal right now, but the ceiling could be significantly higher going into this week for George Pickens potentially. So I think there's a couple different ways you can go there.
Yeah, and we anticipate Zeke being back, I believe, right?
Yeah.
He wants to jump in.
Thank you so much for the donation. Who just sent a super chat in? Let me see. Black Boy Crooks, thank you so much for the donations, brother. Would y'all still start a Diggs with Allen out? Yes, I think we would have lower expectations, of course, because Case Keenum is not Josh Allen, but at the same time, yes, you have to start Diggs. We've seen Case Keenum actually make Stephon Diggs relevant in Minnesota before. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Exactly.
He was the guy who kind of led them to that playoff run. So yes, you still start Stephon Diggs with Josh Allen out, but obviously lower your expectations a lot. But to answer Ethan's question, I think my final list is Jamal Williams, Deonta Foreman, Josh Palmer, and Cortland Sutton. I think you're the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Christian Carrillo says, where would you guys rank Justin Fields going forward? I mean, he has an incredible stretch of games upcoming. This week he gets the Bears, which I expect another really good game for Justin Fields. I mean, he should be considered a top 6 to 8 quarterback rest of the season, I think, with the way that he's playing and the way that they're unleashing him on the ground. In the past 4 weeks, 3 of those 4 weeks, he has rushed at least 12 times. The floor that you have as a quarterback when you rush that many times is very high. So we're starting to see Justin Fields really break out, and we love to see it.
Absolutely.
Jason says, start 3, Chubb, Etienne, Jacobs, or Walker. Trying to trade, but no one in my league likes to trade with me because my record's 8-1. I mean, all these players should be started.
Yeah, I think for me, the one I'm sitting is Jacobs potentially.
Okay.
He's been having a little bit of a downfall right now. I know the matchup is a little bit interesting with the Colts, but I think you kind of have to start Chubb, Etienne, and Waller. All those guys have been consistent.
Walker,
at least for the and Walker, excuse me, for the last 3 weeks at least. I know out of those 3, Walker has probably the toughest matchup there.
Yeah.
Against the Bucks, technically the toughest matchup. But I would go Chubb, Etienne, Walker personally.
I think I'm less scared of starting Jacobs this week because Indianapolis looks like it's an absolute shit show right now. Like, I really think I struggle to see a scenario in which they score more than 17 points. So I'm happy to start Jacobs. I'm happy to start Etienne and Chubb. I guess I'll sit Walker because the matchup's the toughest. But again, all these guys should be started. Like, find a way to put them in your flex. Fam First says TMC, assuming that's CMC, Connor or Foreman. Who is TMC? Am I missing something?
Terrace Marshall? Is that Terrace Marshall potentially?
What's the C for?
I have no idea. T Mac TMC.
I don't know
I'm
who
trying to
TMC
think.
is. Let us know in the chat. But my answer would probably be Deonta Foreman. Don't forget, last time Deonta Foreman played this defense, he was able to put up 3
Oh,
touchdowns.
Terry McLaurin, he said.
Oh, Terry McLaurin. Terry's got a pretty tough matchup, man. I'm pretty sure they face Philly.
They play the Eagles.
So don't forget what Justin Jefferson was able to do, which wasn't all that much. I'm going Deonta Foreman here.
Yeah, I'm going Foreman as well. That feels comfortable.
Okay. What's up, B-Max? Stephen Day says, what's up, guys? New camera angle for Badake. Yes, it's a fresh feel.
A little bit mobile here. You know, I mean, you can have a look outside if you want. Maybe that's a good angle.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you can see Australia.
Wow.
I don't know if you can see. That's my street there.
No, it's funny. It's like you look at that street, that could be any city in America.
Yeah, honestly. It's so funny.
Are you guys really in Australia?
Yeah.
To be fair, it's light outside, so they probably are like, okay, yeah, you probably are. What's up, Kyle? Come to America and visit soon. Yes, we would actually really like to at some point
100%.
do a trip to America. Like that would be cool. Do a business trip to America. You know, that would be pretty cool.
That would be crazy.
And do a big meetup somewhere with everyone. That would be really fun. We've thought about doing that here as well for the Australasia area. What's up, Crab? BMAX says start 1 this week. Sutton, Pickens, London, Kadarius Toney, and Terrace. Sutton, Pickens, London, Kadarius Toney, and Terrace. I think I have to go Sutton here, but Pickens is. I think
Agreed.
Pickens is also someone I heavily consider here, but I think I have to go Sutton.
Yeah, it's a close second for Pickens. I think we're going to find a lot more about this offense this week with Chase Claypool gone because the Steelers were on a bye week. So I feel like Sutton is a safer bet, but Pickens could go crazy potentially as well.
Yeah, and can I just say, like, I think if Marcus Lattimore doesn't play, then I think I actually might try and lean Pickens here, but I think Sutton is a safer play. 2003 Monkey Man says, Gabe Davis or DJ Moore on my flex this week.
DJ Moore.
Is it? Well, after what happened last week? He's
I
never
think
had
it
chemistry with Baker.
PJ Walker is apparently confirmed the starter, if I'm not mistaken.
He is?
Though. Yes,
Okay.
I could be wrong. PJ Walker. Let me just double check that.
that.
PJ Walker expected to start in week 10.
Okay.
Expected to be the starter quarterback for the Panthers.
Crazily enough, okay, I'll go DJ Moore then.
Yeah. I said that. He was one of my starts, and I said specifically, if PJ Walker is the starting quarterback, I'm really confident.
That
if
is
Baker Mayfield is,
crazy.
Yeah.
The amount of people that hated that we said to sell DJ Moore all offseason, and they were saying Baker Mayfield was like the second coming of God himself. And here we are saying,
literally,
PJ Walker, oh, I feel better if it's PJ. But here we are.
So funny.
Chubb, what's up? Got a big old Chubb. Says Mooney or Ayuk. This is a really good question.
This is really close, actually.
Mooney's matchup is incredible versus the Lions. That really intrigues me. Where do you lean here, though? Mooney's going up against the Lions. We have Ayuk versus the Chargers. The Chargers are getting absolutely wrecked defensively as well. Do we know if Deebo Samuel is playing?
Deebo is. He practiced.
Okay, so
which
he'll
I'm
probably
assuming he's
play.
going to be playing. I'm good. Let's go. I feel like Ayuk is still safe. Personally,
yeah, I think these are both good starts. I don't think it's going to ruin or win your week either way, but I'll go Ayuk as well.
Yeah, give me Ayuk right now. It just feels safe.
Yeah. Do we have anything on Twitch that we have missed?
I don't even have Twitch up. Sorry, I forgot.
Mr. Vengeance says, got ad braked when y'all answered. Yes, our answer, I think overall, I agree with Badake. He answered Kirk Cousins, and I leaned with him there. So hopefully that helps.
Agreed.
I did say Carr originally, but the more I think about it, the more I do feel like Kirk Cousins is probably the better answer there. Yeah. Godwin, Judy, or Pickens? I'm going Godwin here.
Godwin there. Yeah, let's go Godwin there, Steve.
Evan says, would I be able to pull off Walker and Evans for CMC? Evans being Mike Evans? I mean, yeah, you absolutely could. I don't think you should, though. I get Evans and Walker.
Evans and Walker for CMC.
Yeah, I guess if you can do that, I'm taking that.
Yeah, especially if you need a wide receiver help, I'll take Mike Evans and Walker.
Not that CMC isn't going to be incredible because he is, but if you're looking for team construction, that's a 12-team league, and you're instantly getting a top 15 wide receiver, Mike Evans, and Ken Walker, who looks like a true league winner. I'm down for it. DJ Moore versus Atlanta or Cortland Sutton versus Tennessee?
Wait, DJ Moore, Atlanta, or I'm going. Ooh,
I'm going
boy,
DJ, bro.
I'm
I'm
going
going
DJ as well.
DJ.
Still, I am going DJ as
Good
well.
luck.
Um,
Bully says, who y'all got in the Bucks Seahawks game? Of course, my Hawks are 2 points underdogs. Honestly, I feel like the Seahawks should be favorites at this point. The way that the defense has performed, they had one of the best drafts, maybe second to the Jets this year, and those rookies are stepping up big time. I mean, I think the Bucks offense, what we saw Sunday was not the revival of the Tampa Bay Bucks offense. What we saw was two awful offenses, awful teams, and one had to win. I think Seahawks should be favorite.
Hey, maybe that's just enough for Tom Brady, though. Maybe that was enough for the
we
spark.
can't ever count out Brady. That's true.
Yeah.
Eli says, Hurts, Najee, Sutton for Lamar, Olave, Devonta Smith. 95% I win, but I just need reassurance. So you get Lamar, Olave, and Devonta Smith. Yes, if there's any scenario in which I'm getting rid of Najee Harris this year, I am all down for it. Is that going to get food?
Sorry, I got to mute myself really, so.
Okay, you're fine. I'll answer some of these questions. Gerard says, evening, guys. Expectations for Debo and CMC playing together this week. That's a really good question, Gerard, because it's going to be a very interesting dynamic to see them on the field together. I think, personally, when that trade originally happened, my original thought, I remember we went live, my original thought was that the person affected most heavily by this trade is actually Debo, and in a negative matter, because he's pretty much played the CMC role for this team for quite some time. So, it's pretty interesting. It'll be interesting to see how they use him, but I think CMC is going to be the dominant ball carrier on this team. He had 9 targets last time out. They won the game. They looked great. So it's hard to say that Debo is going to be the guy compared to CMC on this team moving forward. But Debo's still going to be safe. He's still going to do his thing. It's probably going to be based off of efficiency that he scores points, not off of volume. Start Juju or Palmer? That's a good question. What is Juju's matchup this week? I'm trying to remember who Juju plays. Juju plays the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, I'm going to go Juju here. Palmer is still a fantastic start, but Juju has been on an absolute tear as of recent. He has a terrible playoff schedule, but as of right now, in the past 3 games that he's played, he hasn't scored under 18 points. Last week versus Tennessee, he had 12 targets. I mean, he's really starting to come into his own here in this team with Kansas City, so I'll take Juju there. John says,
I agree with that one.
No, you're fine. And absolutely stacked at running back. Thoughts on sending Josh Jacobs, Dalvin Cook for Deshaun Watson, and Amari Cooper? If this is a 1-quarterback league, absolutely not. If this is a 1-quarterback league, just stream the quarterback position. Don't give up 2 superstar running backs. And look, Amari Cooper is, while I'm obsessed with his playoff schedule, and I love his playoff schedule, Josh Jacobs and Dalvin Cook are both worth much more than Amari Cooper on their own. So this is a bad trade, I would say, if it's a 1-quarterback format. JGM says, I almost want to call the police. I wanted to buy Burks, and the guy countered my pits and a 23 first for Burks.
Oh gosh! Hey, Burks is funny. He came off IR. We'll see what happens. That's so funny.
Yeah, GG's. Michael says full PPR. Jacobs for Sanders and J-Rob. Want to move RB depth. I mean, I'm happy to take the Jacobs side of that deal. Even though I like J-Rob's playoff schedule, I'm still happy to take the Jacobs side.
Right. Yeah, I'm okay. I think that's fairly even. I'm okay with that as well.
If you're trying to cash in on RB depth and you want a more solidified starter, Jacobs is still the focal point of that offense, guys. Karen says, hi, guys. Have Mostert in all 3 redraft teams. 1 standard, 1 half PPR, 1 PPR. Should I drop him to pick up Jeff Wilson? No, but Karen, Jeff Wilson should absolutely be rostered on your team. You can't 100%. Drop Mostert, but you absolutely need to have Jeff Wilson because we even saw it last week. Badake talked about it. This was one of your trade 4s.
Yeah, exactly. One of my trade 4 guys, one of my waiver wire pick guys, because he was available at 50% of leagues at the time that I recorded that video. I'm pretty sure it's probably gone up higher now. But Jeff Wilson is a guy that came in week 1 with this team and got a tremendous amount of work. So if he is available, pick him up, but still keep Raheem Mostert, in my opinion.
Yeah, you can't drop either of them. Both should be rostered. Fam first. Okay, yeah. Kirk or Lazard?
Yeah.
I'm going Kirk.
I'm going Kirk. I'm going Kirk as well.
This
close.
is actually a good matchup because Kansas City secondary has been getting rocked. The only reason they didn't last week is because there's literally no wide receivers in Tennessee. By the way, if Treylon Burks is somehow on your waiver wire, pick him up because he's back at practice. I think he could be a crucial part of this team moving forward. Australia looks a lot like a suburb in Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. This is not, once again, nothing crazy.
Yeah,
just
we actually live in like the suburbs of Sydney. The city itself looks vastly different than this. We could get on a train and be in the city in about 40 minutes or so. So the city looks very, very different. Slayer says PPR Pollard or Foreman this week. Also drop Deontay Jackson for Drake or Warren. On Deontay Jackson, yes, drop him. I prefer Kenyon Drake. But
agreed.
Warren could really take that job this week. I wouldn't be surprised. As far as Pollard or Foreman goes, I'm leaning Deontay Foreman. I believe Zeke is going to play. And if Zeke plays...
Yeah, he did practice, if I'm not mistaken.
We just know that changes Pollard's role. So my answer is in two parts. If you know that Zeke isn't going to play, give me Pollard. But if you don't, then I think you have to go Deontay Foreman in a good matchup versus the Falcons.
Yeah. I completely agree there. I mean, Foreman should get a good amount of workload, especially the last time they played the Falcons. I think he had like 15-plus fantasy points.
Last time he played the Falcons, he had 31.
Oh, never
3
mind.
touchdowns.
Maybe it was like 15 carries. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
right. Okay.
Nick Forrester says, just got offered Najee for Cordero. Do I take it? I'll take Cordero for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
But one of Badake's trade targets, again, for the past 2 weeks has been Cordero Patterson. And you mentioned some people might move Najee for Cordero based off of Najee's name alone. And someone was able to do it. So go do it.
Yeah.
Slayer, thanks for joining us. B-Max says, same for me, was between Sutton and Pickens. Thanks, fellas. No worries, brother.
No worries.
Chunky Turdurkin.
Chunky Turdurkin.
Pick 3, full PPR. DJ Moore, Palmer, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Algier, Chuba, Muth. DJ Moore, Josh Palmer.
DJ Moore, Josh Palmer, and then...
I might go Chuba there.
Chuba. It's between Chuba and Muth. What's Muth been doing the past couple weeks, though? Like, has he been pretty...
Muth's been pretty good. He's been pretty reliable, but... And now you've got Chase Claypool, who is off the team. He's had 9 targets in week 7, and the last time he played 7 targets, so he's been pretty reliable. I think I'm actually gonna go Pat there. Actually, the Saints are pretty damn good against tight ends.
Yeah,
we even thought that Isaiah Likely was going to be a smash this week, and to be fair, he scored a touchdown, but he only had 1 reception.
Yeah, I know. Maybe it is Chuba. It's difficult. It's difficult because it's Thursday night, in my opinion.
Sure.
And we're not necessarily sure he's coming off this injury. Are they going to give him the workload immediately? I won't be surprised if Chuba, gets a lot of work in the air and Foreman gets the goal line carries.
Yeah.
I think they're both good plays. I think they can both at least get you 8 points.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
So DJ Moore, Palmer, and I'll go Chuba.
Yeah, Chuba is really interesting. If he plays, I think that would be our option. What's up, BX? Kyle says pick 1: Judy, Keenan Allen, Tony, Kareem Hunt, Terrace, Drake London. Okay. This is what we call one of those trap questions where there's a lot of options here who are in very similar outcomes. So just at the very beginning, I'm sorry, because the likelihood is that we probably get this wrong. But based off of what we believe could happen, I think Judy would be the answer for both of us. And
Agreed.
I don't know that Keenan Allen is going to play. Have we heard any news about that?
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything. I think he didn't practice again. Yeah. Exactly.
Someone put on Twitter the roster clogger of the year goes to Keenan Allen, and I think that's probably true.
So annoying, man.
Was he ever put on IR? I don't think he was.
No, he wasn't.
That is pain.
But remember, like he was gonna like practice, and like the 3rd week he was injured because they didn't want to put him on IR, and then he re-injured that hamstring.
And so it's been twice re-injured. Yeah, tough. Yeah. But by the way, Terrace Marshall definitely should be rostered in every format, and it's a good matchup this week as well. But we would go Judy here. Nick says flex option: Ayuk, DJ Moore, Tony Pollard, Raheem Mostert. I think we would. I don't want to speak for you. Will we both go DJ Moore?
Yeah,
Or would you
I'm
go
going
Ayuk?
DJ Moore there.
Okay.
Nah, I will go DJ Moore there.
Gator says, what do you guys think about Geno Smith and Lockett for Pierce, Tannehill, and one of Rondale, Garrett Wilson, or Allen Robinson? Geno Smith and Lockett for Pierce, as in Damian. This is his 2-quarterback league. That's important context, I believe. I mean, if you can send Damian Pierce, Ryan Tannehill, and Allen Robinson and get Geno Smith and Ty Lockett, I'm happy to do that in a 2-quarterback league.
Exactly. I would be perfect with that.
What's up, Michael? Casey says Hawks have the #1 defense over the past 4 games. Yeah, they've been really good.
Crazy.
Those
They've been killing
rookies. Tyreek Woolen was an absolute steal. Kirk or Garoppolo, Gabe or Judy. Okay, Kirk versus the Bills. Garoppolo versus the Chargers. I'm going Garoppolo.
I'm going Garoppolo there as well. I'm going Jerry Judy.
Same. And I feel like Garoppolo has this great ability with all these weapons on his team that he has to do the absolute minimum and he can score fantasy points. Hey, man, can you throw a screen? Can you throw it out in the flat to the CMC? Can you do those things?
Exactly.
Because if you can, you're going to score fantasy points. Michael says, in redraft, would you trade away Swift and Devonta Smith for Ramondre and Olave? I like that trade for the Ramondre and Olave side, even though I am a huge believer in Devonta Smith. I do think he comes back and takes his role heading into the playoffs. But Devonta Smith's been too up and down and inconsistent, whereas Olave is a clear #1 on his team.
Agreed.
So I'll go Ramondre and Olave there.
Agreed. I completely agree with that one.
Michael says, someone in my Dynasty League trade away their 23-second for Kenyon Drake.
Oh, no.
Michael.
Oh, no.
If you can go ahead and link them our Dynasty channel.
Hey.
The reason people are bad at playing Dynasty football is not because they're dumb. It's because they're uninformed. They just need to inform themselves.
By the way, Kenyon Drake could be the Devin Singletary, the Rashad Penny of this year. Exactly. I think that is crazy.
I wonder what happens when JK comes back and when Gus comes
back. I feel like when JK comes back, they're not gonna trust him enough. Like, he's still gonna have limited work. You know, Kenyon Drake is already gonna have a good role in a couple games to where, like, you know what, JK, like, come in and just be a reliever guy potentially.
I can see a scenario in which that happens. I also see a scenario in which all 3 of them are involved, and it's just, what the fuck do we do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jay Santiago says, pick 2, James Conner, Jeff Wilson, Mooney, Pittman, and Pickens. Thanks.
Oh, gosh.
This is interesting. Pittman, who do they play?
They play the Raiders.
So typically when a coaching change happens, the interim coach is already in the building and they understand who their superstars are. And they say, all right, hey, let's make the game plan really simple. Give Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman the ball. Now,
typically a coach.
We have no idea who the hell's calling plays. And Jeff Saturday is a coach of the Colts. And apparently the last time he coached high school football, he went 3-7 as a head coach.
No, thank you.
I don't know. I can't do it.
No, thank you.
I'm going to go Mooney and Pickens here.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going. Mooney and Pickens. I think it could be really close with Jeff Wilson as well. But let's see one more week with Jeff Wilson in this offense against the Browns to really understand what he's doing. But yeah, Pickens and Mooney, I agree.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for the sub, PJ.
Appreciate you, man.
All right.
Where are
Clamped
we?
Easy says, would you rather have Justin Fields or Dak Prescott rest of season? This is going to be really, really close. I don't think I really have a strong preference either way, but I would lean. I would probably lean towards Justin Fields with what he does on the ground.
Exactly.
Dak Prescott is never going to rush for 10 times in a game post that injury that he had. So
yeah, I think it's a relief that Dak hasn't been terrible when he came back.
Pretty good, yeah, when he came back.
Yeah, and I think that was the biggest concern, that he was just going to be bad. But Justin Fields and what he's doing on the ground is great, and he's getting a rhythm. They're opening up the offense just a little bit more every single week, which is exciting. So maybe he can finish on a really good high as a player and as a fantasy. Yeah. You know, as a fantasy player as well. So that's exciting.
Nick says, do I pick up Claypool and drop Herbert? Assuming Herbert is Khalil Herbert should still be rostered.
Yeah, maybe is somebody else there
as well, but you know, both of these guys should be rostered in a 12-team league. But I still prefer Herbert over Claypool at this point. Michael says, I want to trade Jacobs for Sanders and J-Robs. I don't like Jacobs' schedule. Okay. I mean, we wouldn't do that. I don't know about you, Badake. I'm going to take the Jacobs side of it, but I understand that he's had a rough couple games, but at the same time, he's still the focal point of this offense. He's still 100% getting the workload. Last week, he touched the ball 20 times. So I understand people were frustrated at what happened last week, but he touched the ball 20 times still. Like, there's going to be another game where he breaks out for you. So, yeah, I guess it depends on what you're looking for.
I think it depends on how you view James Robinson.
Right.
You know, like, do you see James Robinson taking a bigger workload each and every week? You know, I think it was 50-50 nearly or something like that this past weekend against the Bills, and he scored a touchdown, which kind of changed his game. Same thing with Michael Carter, though. You know, they're both got saved by the touchdown, I would say.
Yeah.
But it just all depends on how you view James Robinson. If you think James Robinson can really pop off and maybe be another a top 20 RB, the top 20, top 25, maybe every week, then maybe having Sanders and J-Rob for depth could be it, Michael.
Okay,
but it's all preference.
Yeah, I don't think that there's I don't think it's like stupid to go either way, I'll say. Like, it's not like either way is egregious depending on what you want. And I brought James Robinson, even myself, as a good buy for the playoffs last week because of his schedule. So I'm not anti him at all. Nice, Nick. That's good for you. Big BS says Juju, Rondale Moore, Debo, Najee Harris. Sit one. I'm sitting Moore. Najee Harris. You're gonna sit?
Okay.
You're gonna sit?
I would sit Rondale potentially.
He's been pretty good, man.
He hasn't he? He's playing the Rams.
Najee had what he put up last week. Najee hasn't done his entire year, and the week before,
I'm just gonna look at
Rondale had 23 points. Najee hasn't even touched a 14-point game this year, I don't believe. Yeah, he's never had a 14-point game in PPR formats.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. You know what? I'll rock with you. Let's go Rondale Moore.
Yeah. So we're sitting Najee.
We're sitting Najee. That's crazy.
I mean, we've been doing that for a while, though, to be fair.
Yeah, I know.
Do I trade away ETN high or keep him? I think I'm keeping him.
Yeah, I'm keeping him as well.
I've been a big ETN guy. Drop Tony for Burks. Oof, that's tough. I actually think I would. Just purely because of opportunity. Now, I talked about this on one of our videos this week, but Tony only played 13% of the snaps, I believe, or 9%, somewhere around there. It was like very, very low, and he was already used in some very cool ways. So I think Tony could actually be a good play here soon. But they still have Juju, they still have MVS, they still have Kelsey. Who do the Titans have? There is literally no one who is going to compete with targets for Treylon Burks when he comes back. So I do lean Burks, but again, this is one of those scenarios where I think we both say both should be rostered.
Yeah, and the Titans are starting to find their rhythm. The defense is finding the rhythm. The offense obviously was a little bit they kind of kept up with the Chiefs. I wonder what that game would look like if Ryan Tannehill was, under center actually throwing the ball on Malik. Malik didn't let Malik loose. So I would agree saying that Treylon Burks is a guy to roster, but is there anyone else you can drop, Gavin? Because I think you definitely want to keep both of those guys just in case.
Untouchable TJ says Deonta Foreman, James Conner, or Zeke. I'm going Deonta Foreman.
Agreed. Deonta Foreman.
Bashka. I don't know how to say this. I traded Mark Andrews and Metcalf for ETN.
Metcalf was on my bench, and my other wide receivers.
Look, Mark Andrews and Metcalf side definitely, I think, wins this trade. Mark Andrews, when he comes back, is still going to be a top 2 tight end. He's going to give you that 15 to 20 to 25-point game. And that tight end position, people who have Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce are chilling. Everyone else is shitting themselves every week trying to find a start. So I do lean the Mark Andrews side of this. I almost feel like Mark Andrews and ETN alone are like even trade, whereas like Metcalf is like, oh dang, like you also got like a wide receiver too.
Exactly.
In fantasy, so I like the Mark Andrews side there personally. I traded CMC and Claypool for Njoku, Walker, and Mostert right before the deadline. CMC and Claypool for Njoku. I mean, Njoku's hurt. Walker's been fine. I mean, I think you still prefer the CMC side there, but it's not terrible. Devonta Smith or Devin Singletary this week. I'm going Devonta Smith.
Yep, isn't it same thing?
Last time he
Devonta
played
Smith.
Washington, remember what happened?
He went off.
Yep, he went
he?
off. I believe he had his 30-point game versus Washington.
Yeah.
So I think you don't expect that again this week.
It can but it can definitely.
We've seen it can happen.
Yeah, exactly. The upside's there for sure.
Would you trade Najee and Devonta Smith for Sanders, as in Miles? If you have the depth there and you're not going to miss Devonta Smith, I'm okay with it. But if Devonta Smith's like a crucial part of your starting lineup, then no. But just important to all the Najee owners out there. We don't know what's going to happen moving forward. We don't know if Jaylen Warren's going to get a bigger role or not. What we do know is it's been a really tough schedule for him. He's had that plate in his foot as well, and the schedule gets easier moving forward. So just keep those things in mind. But overall, I think we would say yes. Kyle says, I traded Shakir in a late first for Debo and Dynasty. I like it.
Shakir, that's good.
Shakir's probably not going to, establish a role anytime soon, and I think a late first for Debo is proper value. So it's
agreed
in there. Steven says, add from waivers, Burks, Dotson, Claypool, Moon. Holy crap, Steven, I want your waivers.
Shallow bench.
Bro, you know who we're looking at on our waivers in our home redraft league? Let me tell you how terrible this is. It's not even good if you're a bad team and you have the first waiver. Because you're literally it's there's terrible. No one here. Let me tell you who we could pick up. You want Case Keenum? You want Samori Toure, wide receiver for the Packers?
Might not be a bad shot, though.
You want Raheem Blackshear? You can pick him up. So that's who we're looking at. Your waivers are looking incredible.
Gosh, in order, Steven.
Palmer,
Mooney, Wandale, maybe.
Yeah.
I think those are the top three that feel really even. So Palmer's in his own tier, and I think Mooney and Wandale could be in the same tier, and then Burks and Claypool, and then Dotson. That's how I'm seeing
guys
it.
That, like, if you need a flex, you pick them up until Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are back, and you just start them every week.
Yeah, exactly.
Colts are tanking. I trust them. None. Yeah. Will OBJ be fantasy relevant for the playoffs? There's a chance he can. I find it hard to, so let's say he comes back week 14 or something. Are you going to start him? Like his first week back without knowing what his role will be, and if he's going to be completely healthy off that ACL, I find it hard to really find a scenario in which OBJ is going to be in your starting lineup. But I understand why people want to roster him, because who knows where he goes.
I had him as a waiver wire pickup, and I said that if he were to sign with a team, either now, go week 10 or week 11, and have 3 weeks before the the fantasy playoffs, so you can understand what his role is, I think it would be worth rostering. But if he gets signed week 13, appreciate it. If he gets signed week 14 or week 13 or week 14, I feel like it's a little bit, there's no point. You're just risking it.
Right.
But if he does have that 3 weeks where he can practice with the team, get familiar with the offense, and then kind of gets worked in a little bit, then I would like the opportunity to roster him personally.
Yeah. No, I can understand that. I think about how Michael Gallup came back off that ACL and really struggling to find his form. So I think there's a chance. If we put a percentage chance that he could be a starting asset in the fantasy playoffs, what would that percentage be for you? I think for me it would be around 30.
Yeah, I would agree there as well. And also, hypothetically, he resigns to the Rams. I think the situation there is different because he knows the offense.
Yeah,
he knows he has the chemistry. I think it all depends on the team and how acclimated he can get with the team, and how fast we can see him progress week in and week out.
Right. All right. PJ Monroe says start 2 receivers and 1 flex: Debo, Mike Evans, CD, Amari Cooper, Tony Pollard. My goodness, this is some great options that you have there. Okay, so I almost want to remind myself what these matchups are.
Amari Cooper.
Debo plays the Chargers. Mike Evans plays. Who does Mike Evans play?
Mike Evans plays the Seahawks.
Seattle Seahawks.
So I think I'm going. I think I have my answer. Okay. I'm going Debo, and I'm going Amari Cooper, and I'm flexing. Let me just double check my flex. My flex will probably be CeeDee Lamb.
I thought you already said CeeDee Lamb.
No, so it's
you said Debo and CeeDee. That's what you said.
I said Debo, Amari. So start 2 receivers in a flex. Debo, Amari Cooper, and then CeeDee Lamb.
Okay, so you're sitting Mike Evans is what you're saying.
Yeah, because defense is really good, and like what people were saying, the last 4 weeks, they've been the number one defense right now, and that corner or safety over there, I forgot his name, is really popping off right now. And obviously, Tom is going to do something. This team is going to do something. Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough matchup for Mike. But like, do we trust Mike or CeeDee versus?
Mine is CeeDee's definitely in for me. So for me, the two locks for there would be Debo and CeeDee. I think I'm playing Mike Evans over Amari just because there are games where Amari has disappeared. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's a good matchup for him. But at the same time, we're looking at Mike Evans, who has had like his worst target total in the past 3 weeks has been 11.
Right.
Like we're talking 15 targets in week 7, 11 and 8, 11 and 9. So I'm just trying to follow those targets there. So yeah, I guess I'm sitting Amari Cooper and Tony Pollard.
Okay.
But they're all great options.
Yeah, they are great options. It's tough.
Tyler Algier, Pacheco, or Warren this week? I'm going Algier, I would say. He still has a role.
Yeah, he does still have a role. Tyler Algier for sure.
Pick 2, Devonta Smith, Judy or Ike. Yeah, what do you lean?
I'm gonna go Devonta Smith and Ayuk.
Okay.
Ooh, Devonta Smith and Jerry Judy. Excuse me, Devonta Smith and Jerry Judy.
I'll be honest with you, Jason. I do not know who's going to score more points between Judy and Ayuk. I have no idea.
Devonta Smith and Jerry Judy.
But I think I'm going to go Devonta Smith and Jerry Judy as well. Kyle says this really isn't a question, but if you can get Schultz for cheap in leagues, I'd do it. He's one of the most targeted tight ends since Dak's return. Yep, we're definitely not against that.
Yep.
Michael says, who would you drop in redraft, Tony or Jameson?
Jameson.
Yeah,
I don't see a scenario where he plays.
I struggle to see Jameson really playing a factor in the fantasy playoffs.
Exactly.
For people. So probably him, but at the same time, I mean, he could be a real focal point of the offense if he comes back. I just don't know when he will, so I'll choose him. B-Dub says CPAT Fournette this week. Probably going Cordero. Versus the Panthers.
Panthers, exactly. I agree there. Cordero Patterson has been really great so far this past week, so let's see.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what Steven's saying here. Drop Dion instead of Tony for Burks. Yes, definitely drop Dion instead of Tony.
Agreed.
Would have too many wide receivers at that point. No, I can see where you're coming from, Gavin. I guess the hope would be that maybe you can use one of those wide receivers that are like a weekly flex and package them with someone to upgrade at the running back position, because Dion in this offense with Sam Ehlinger as a quarterback does not have value. Should I trade Jalen Hurts and Etienne for Rodgers and Hopkins? I'm taking Jalen Hurts and Etienne side.
Yeah, agreed. I would not do that.
What are your thoughts on Justin Herbert rest of season? He's definitely been a huge, huge disappointment.
Exactly. And I think that's a result of Keenan Allen being injured, Mike Williams being injured.
Yeah.
I think there's just a lot of reasons he couldn't get his rhythm with his boys.
Yeah.
It's been tough, especially with that team. We always said it, like, this team is so talented. One of the best offensive lines. I think he lost a couple. Yeah, the injuries in the offensive line. Austin Eckler was back there. Keenan Allen, Mike Evans. Joe Everett has been played a good part so far. Like, imagine if they were all in the field, all at once. We haven't seen it outside of week 1, if I'm not mistaken. So
my expectations are like a top 8 to 10 play, basically. Still believe in the talent, but he's not locked in as one of these top 5 guys, I don't think. Like, if you could tell me, would you rather have Tua or Justin Herbert rest of the season? Give me Tua easily. And I think I might lean Justin Fields as well with what he's doing on the ground.
I agree.
Is Godwin worth a start? Yes, he is.
Yes.
Godwin's definitely worth a start. Do not give up on Chris Godwin, guys. He's definitely going to continue to be very necessary to this Tampa Bay Bucs offense. Last week, he had 10 targets. I mean, since week 6, this is a 4-game sample. Since week 6, he has yet to have under 10 targets. So he's still going to be very important to that offense. Bully McGuire says, what do y'all think of my team? Looks like a good team. I had Hollywood, but yeah, no, I still have him, though, when he comes back. It's a very good team, Bully. Very good team.
It is a good team.
Obviously, for Diggs' sake, you hope that Josh Allen can stay healthy, but you're pretty good at every spot. And Dalton Schultz, as we've talked about, and as Kyle's highlighted, is going to be a good start going forward, most likely. Do y'all think Eckler would do good? He's always going to do good. Eckler,
he is always going to do.
He is genuinely matchup proof. So if the Chargers have a good start to the game and they're up, guess who scored the touchdowns? It was Austin Eckler. If the Chargers are coming from behind, guess who's getting receptions? It's Austin Eckler.
Austin Eckler.
In week 6 versus the Broncos, Austin Eckler had 16 targets. You start him, it don't matter. It don't matter what the matchup is.
And best believe Justin Herbert is going to result to him because that's his guy right now. You know, Josh Palmer's there, but he's sometimes he can struggle. You know, Joe Everett's there. Sometimes he can struggle. The only guy he can rely on is Austin Eckler. He's going to catch the ball and make a move.
Yeah.
So I agree.
He's matchup proof. I mean, there are probably only 2 matchups you can really point to this entire year where you would say he was efficient on the ground, right? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because he's matchup proof with what he does in the air. Jake says trade Waddle and Patterson for Kamara and Lazard. I'll take Waddle and Patterson.
Exactly. I mean, I do believe it's fairly even personally, to be honest with you. But I rather have Waddle and Patterson just because of Waddle's offense. I think it's significantly better.
Also really important to update people on the Kamara situation because we had a lot of people last week who were like, what do we do with Kamara? You know, like, why aren't we talking about Alvin Kamara? Well, firstly, we didn't talk about him because we're not lawyers. We have no idea what's going on. And that video release didn't really tell us anything. I mean, we were like, okay, this is someone recorded this on a potato. We're supposed to understand what's going on here. But from what I understand, the court, I believe, pushed the hearing back another, I think, till like January 20th or something. So there's no way he's not available for you rest of season, Alvin Kamara. He will be available for you rest of season.
Yeah.
B-Max says, win now contender. I traded 2 early firsts and JMO for A.J. Brown, Kamara, and a mid-second. What do you guys think? I hate giving up that much, but now I have Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Waddle, Higgins, and Sutton. Okay, so we sent 2 early firsts. I really love... I'll be honest,
and JMO for AJ Brown.
That early first in 23 is going to be nice. And Jameson Williams. Kamara. You know, I don't hate it.
I'm disappointed about like the Kamara part of it.
You're disappointed
personally. I look at the trade. I was like, okay, and then I see AJ Brown, Kamara, and then I go, can Kamara could have been anyone else potentially? Like, yeah, exactly. A younger piece that may not have question marks going into the future because now what's going to happen is like you have Kamara, you're going to try to trade him in the offseason, and then someone's going to say, well, he has that case, you know, which is going to be really hard for you to try and get anything for. So I actually don't mind the trade personally. I do think the first are a little bit too early, but I don't mind it for AJ Brown and Kamara. Just can you move Kamara now before anything bad truly happens in the offseason?
Yeah, I think the verdict is obviously still out on the 23 class, but I think Badake and I's overall feeling and direction right now for this class is that the top 6 picks could genuinely be fantasy gold. Like, genuinely, they could be fantasy gold. Yeah. So I think that's why we struggle knowing that those are early. If they were late, it'd be a no-brainer. And also Jameson Williams. I still think Jameson Williams could be like a top 15 wide receiver in Dynasty this time next year. That's a tough one, man. But if you're contending, he says he's contending, your wide receiver room looks incredible.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think we'll know an answer to this one, to be honest, B-Mac, just yet. Perry says, would you trade Devonta Smith and Mostert for Godwin? Myers need better wide receivers. Yeah, I would do that. Oh,
hey. Shit. Sorry, that's super loud, and I know she was like right next to the computer. Sorry. Hey.
Put Blaze on the camera for a sec.
Hey, look at Blaze. Hey, stop barking. It's too loud. It's too loud. Hello.
We should get Blaze to answer some questions. Anyway.
Okay, I'm just gonna mute myself for a second.
Blaze. But yes, if you can move Mostert for value right now, and that's pretty good value, Perry, we would do that. Untouchable says Gabe Davis or Cortland Sutton in flex full PPR. I think we both say Sutton, especially if Josh Allen's going to be missing time this week. We don't know the answer to that yet, but by the way. Christian says, should I try and trade Justin Fields and package somebody else for Lamar Jackson? I mean, if you can move from Fields to Lamar Jackson with someone who's on your bench, yes, but I'm not going to include a starter in a one quarterback league to go from Fields to Lamar Jackson. So I think that depends on the other player that you would have to package. What is the best case scenario for Kyren Williams? Well, it's good to see that Akers literally did nothing last week. And Darrell Henderson wasn't all that efficient. No one was very efficient. So I think the best case scenario for him is that he can be their third down running back, and he can be a spark for this offense in an offense that desperately needs a playmaker to step up. So he has a very good profile as a pass catcher in college. He's very competent as well as a pass blocker. So you can see his role potentially grow. I mean, best case scenario, think of like what we're thinking about right now with Chuba Hubbard. That is like the best case scenario for Kyren Williams, which can be very valuable. Daniel says, Jonathan Taylor, Najee, Cordero, Deonta Foreman, pick 3. One of them will be my flex. All right, pick 3. If JT starts, I'm going to start him this week. Honestly, I don't need to look at the list. I'm sitting Najee Harris. I'm sitting Najee Harris. That would be my answer. Pickens or Ayuk. I'm going Ayuk. Wilson Jr. or Foreman. I'm going Foreman. I think Badake could also agree there. Would you trade Najee in Dynasty?
I'm back on my computer, by the way.
Oh,
so
okay.
this I'm just transitioning because if you can hear me.
Would you trade for Najee? Who would you trade for Najee? Maybe send one of Pittman, Dotson, or Cleo for him. Man, I mean, can you get any first in any year? 23, 24? That's what I'm kind of trying to look for, rather than some of these options. Kyle says some statistical information about Schultz. Since Dak's return, has been targeted on 30.6% of routes run. Andrew leads this tight end category at 28.6. Yep, Schultz can definitely have a very good rest of season.
That's good. Can everyone hear me? Just FYI? Let me know if you can hear me.
I can hear you for sure, yeah.
All right, everyone can hear me. I can hear myself as well on the stream, so we're all good.
Okay.
I'm back. We're back on the setup, which is fantastic. What was the last question that you had? Sorry.
It was just a comment about Schultz. Let's talk Travis Etienne or Chubb rest of season. I'm probably going Chubb, but I still am a huge Etienne believer.
Yeah, I'm going Chubb, man.
I'm
He's
taking
just
as many
crazy.
victory laps as I can this year.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, I hated Kamara as well, but had to get a big dog running back to take me to the promised land this season. Love my early first as well. They're gold, but I had no late first to give. Understandable. I know y'all won't believe this, but in a 12-man and playing for 200, Hurts, Diggs, Godwin, Eckler, Barkley, and Etienne. I love it, man. Very good roster. Daniel says Blaze does not like that. We need a Blaze emoji ASAP. Actually, we do need a Blaze emoji.
We do need a Blaze emoji. That'd be cute.
That would be funny. Is Etienne going to finish as a top 5? He definitely can, man. If he continues on this pace, there's no reason why Etienne can't.
What is he on right now? Let's see.
Right now, he's the running back
11 so far in the year. The fact that Aaron Jones is RB10 and feels like he's been irrelevant.
Because he's had those like couple weeks where he's just gone crazy. But outside of that, it's been pretty average. Yeah, he definitely can. Average. Kansas City this week is actually a good matchup for Etienne. Baltimore's a good matchup. He's got Detroit coming up, which is a great matchup. Tennessee is not. I wouldn't say Dallas is either, but at the same time, he is the focal point of the offense right now. So
yeah, agreed.
Yeah, he definitely can.
Agreed.
Jump when Blaze barked. It's such a big disappointment. Yeah, he has been. Pickens or Ayuk or Wilson Jr. or Foreman. I think I'm going. Oh, this is a tough one, Griffin. This is what we call a trap question. We can't really tell you exactly what's going to happen. If it was me and you can... I'm assuming it's 4 options here, and we have to choose one.
I'm assuming it's 2 options. Pickens or Ayuk, and then Wilson or Foreman. That's how I'm assuming.
Okay, well, if it's 2, then I'll go Ayuk over Pickens, and I'll go Foreman over Wilson. That's easy.
Exactly. That's how I'm seeing it.
If I have to choose one, I'm really struggling between Ayuk and Foreman here. But I lean Foreman.
I do lean Foreman over, Ayuk or Foreman. I would go Ayuk over Foreman, actually.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I genuinely couldn't tell you who's going to score more points there.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Over on Twitch, Appsar says just trade away Kareem, Garrett Wilson, Ayuk for JT. Kareem, Garrett Wilson, and Ayuk for JT. Current wide receivers are Waddle, Olave, and Lazard. Okay. If JT can get back to his form, that's not terrible. Better running back for non-PPR, I think we both say Barkley.
Yeah, it would be say, baby. Give it
Brady
a say.
Says, should I trade Jefferson and Kirk for McCaffrey in Hollywood? I'm 7-2, looking good for playoffs.
What's the return status for Hollywood though? When is he? 4 to 6 weeks, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's just see. Hollywood Brown. Is there any indication of him coming back anytime soon? Placed on injury reserved.
I think if you're 7-2, what you want to avoid is trading for players with I think Hollywood's going to be ready for the playoffs. At the same time, they have a bye week in week 13. So if it's 4 to 6 weeks, do they pull him before the bye week? I don't know if they do that.
Exactly. Because right now
your playoffs start in week 15 and maybe he starts week 14. I'm going to take the Jefferson side of that deal, but
I would take the Jefferson side as well because right now week 7, week 8, 9, 10. Week 10 right this week at the end of this week will be 4 weeks.
Yeah.
The window originally said 4 to 6. So they could like you said hold them out into the bye week.
Best case scenario, Hollywood comes back in week 11 versus the Niners. Worst case, he comes back week 14.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's playing New England, Denver, Tampa Bay in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think I like Jefferson
Denver.
There. If you can make Hollywood Brown someone else, I like Hollywood Brown. He was my guy this year, and he was great until he was injured. But if you can make Hollywood Brown someone else, then I like that deal a little bit better. Fields or Tua, 6-point passing touchdown. I'll go Tua.
Yeah, agreed.
Who can I trade Swift for? I got Jamal as well. Want a running back in return. I personally am keeping Swift. The playoff schedule is great. I would encourage you, to watch the video we just released this week, Michael, where I talk about him as a good buy low if you're set up for the fantasy playoffs. Excuse me. Dion or Mooney? I'm going Mooney.
Or Mooney, agreed.
Timmy says, trying to make a trade to strengthen my running back situation. I have Diggs and Jefferson. Who would you say I should trade away? If anyone, I would say Diggs because we're unsure of Allen's situation. So if you can move Diggs and get an absolutely elite running back, like if you can trade Diggs and go out and get a Saquon, a CMC, and Eckler, like I'll do that in a heartbeat. A Derrick Henry, I'll do that kind of move right now in a heartbeat to improve my running back room. Kyle says, would you trade Waddle for CeeDee Lamb and Trey Lance? Dynasty. Yeah,
ooh.
I would do that for CeeDee Lamb and Trey Lance. I love Jalen Waddle, but it's not as if like I view him in a different tier to CeeDee Lamb.
No, yeah, and I guess you just get Trey Lance as if anything can happen. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't mind that. Wouldn't be Jefferson, but the Allen injury had me questioning. Right.
Sure. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Would you rather have McCaffrey or Eckler? Non-PPR.
Non-PPR.
Non-PPR, probably CMC, to be honest.
Eckler's
not been very efficient on the ground.
It is CMC for me. Where's Eckler non-PPR right now?
That's a good question, actually. He's probably still very high.
He's RB3. CMC's RB7 non-PPR right now.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind he's had 2 bye weeks this year as well.
That is true.
Clean.
Who should I drop? Keep, trade.
Okay. Very open-ended question.
Yeah, because
you could probably drop McCole if you need to drop anyone.
Yeah, McCole. Which one's Williams? Is that Mike Williams?
If you're looking to trade, Fournette is who has been kind of someone I'm trying to trade away for a while now.
So you drop.
Overall, that would be my answer. Yeah, if you want to drop someone, it would be McCole. If you want to trade someone, it would be Lenny. Diggs or JJ? I'll take JJ.
Yeah, I'm happy with JJ as well. As that's going to let me down not signing Odell Beckham.
Probably.
I don't want Odell to go to. I don't want him to go to the Cowboys. That would be terrible, personally.
If you started your career with the Giants, do you want to disrespect that entire fan base and sign with the Cowboys? I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know, maybe. 6-3 record. You're in a good spot then, clean. Should I trade Diggs and JT for Henry and Hopkins? I like the Henry and Hopkins side there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with Henry and Hopkins as well.
Should I try to trade Gabe Davis, Cortland Sutton, or Terrace Marshall for a stronger flex? Yeah, Gabe Davis was actually a trade away of mine after that his last big week, I just didn't feel like there's going to be any sort of consistency for him. So I would have suggested to do it then. I think people are probably not sure of him now what to do. So the ideal scenario for you is that Gabe Davis goes crazy this week, bro, and then you can trade him away. But right now, none of those players that you're mentioning, people are going to give you good value for. So I would say overall, you couldn't do that. Pick one to drop. Khalil, B-Rob, Mooney, Dylan, Hubbard, Rashad. Probably Brian Robinson.
Yeah, probably B-Rob. It's B-Rob for me. Hasn't been doing much. Mooney, keep Dylan. Dylan had a great opportunity, and then AJ Dillon or Aaron Jones says, psych.
Yeah.
Hubbard and Rashad, yeah, it's B-Rob for us.
Anyway, guys, I think that is it for today. We will be live, of course, on Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will have a lot more information for you guys as well on practice reports, who's in, who's out, who's questionable, and we'll be able to have a little bit better gauge on the week. But this will be the last question we answer for today. Michael says, need to decide my wide receiver 2 and flex spot for this week. Juju versus the Jags. Olave, St. Brown versus the Bears. Okay, so we basically have to sit one of these options.
Oh, my gosh.
Olave is a smash start versus the secondary.
I'm going Juju and Olave, actually.
Yeah, I think I am as well.
I like St. Brown, but I think the consistency with Juju and Olave in the last 3 weeks speaks volumes.
Juju's turned into a league winner.
Yeah, speaks volumes. I mean, he's turning into a league winner. He's turning into a contract extension, which could potentially help those those dynasty guys who has Juju, because that was my main concern with Juju. It's like, if anything, he needs to play for his contract, and is he showing enough to get a contract extension?
Yeah.
And in the last couple of weeks, he's doing it. Shout out to Call of Duty for just bringing Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, the whole squad together, you know?
Call of Duty, bringing people together ever since 2000s, early 2000s.
Literally bringing them together and then killing Kyler Murray's career. GG's.
All right, guys. Huge love. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you guys Saturday. Got a lot of videos on our channel this week. If you don't want to stop watching our content for whatever reason, you're not sick of listening to us already, we have 5 videos on our channel that we released this week already. Go check those out. Some are trades. We have 2 videos already that focus on trades for the fantasy playoffs. Check those out. We have starts of the week out on our page. Lots of content for you guys. We got videos on our Dynasty channel about the 2023 class. I mean, we'll be pumping out stuff nonstop all year. Appreciate you guys. Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you very soon.
Huge love.
Later, Zeus.